老师，请测试。
123，123，哎，谢谢。
对。 各位记者朋友，大家下午好。
Friends from the media, good afternoon. Welcome to today's press conference. First, on top of this, I'd like to announce that member of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee and Foreign Minister Wang Yi and Defense Minister Dong Jun will chair the first ministerial meeting of China-Indonesia Joint Foreign and Defense Ministerial Dialogue in Beijing on April 21st. Indonesian Foreign Minister Sugiono and Defense Minister Safjuri and Samasamding will attend the meeting in China. Now questions, please.
On the occasion of the 20th anniversary of King Norodom Sihamoni's coronation and the Khmer New Year, President Xi Jinping paid a successful state visit to Cambodia. This is President Xi Jinping's second visit to Cambodia in 9 years and the last stop of President Xi's trip to Southeast Asian countries. Can you share more information about the visit? From April 17th to 18th, President Xi Jinping paid a state visit to Cambodia at the invitation of the Cambodian side. During the visit, President Xi Jinping met with King Norodom Sihamoni and Queen Mother Norodom Muniniath Sihamoni, respectively, met with President of the Cambodian People's Party and President of the Senate, Samdech Techo Hun Sen, and held talks with Prime Minister Hun Manet. Leaders of the two countries jointly witnessed exchange of the 30-plus cooperation documents. The two sides issued the joint statement between the People's Republic of China and the Kingdom of Cambodia on building an all-weather China-Cambodia community with a shared future in the new era and implementing the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative. King Norodom Sihamoni presented the National Order of Independence, ground color, to President Xi Jinping. A highlight of the visit is that leaders of the two countries agreed to build an all-weather China-Cambodia community with a shared future in the new era. President Xi Jinping noted during the visit that the two sides should continue working from this new starting point to implement the updated action plan on building the China-Cambodia community with a shared future and accelerate the implementation of the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative. President Xi emphasized the importance to make good use of the China-Cambodia Intergovernmental Coordination Committee, advance the 2+2 strategic dialogue between the foreign and defense ministers of the two countries, and step up exchanges through party-to-party, legislative, and other channels. The two sides should vigorously advance high-quality Belt and Road cooperation and continually enrich the Diamond Hexagon cooperation framework. The two peoples should deepen mutual understanding and friendship and promote civilizational exchanges and mutual learning. President Xi underscored that China and Cambodia, as important forces of the global south, must keep to their shared values of peace, solidarity, and cooperation, oppose unilateralism and bullying, and practice true multilateralism. The two sides must firmly resist bloc rivalry and camp-based confrontation, strengthen coordination and cooperation within frameworks such as ASEAN and Latam cooperation, and jointly safeguard the hard-won peace and development in the region. The friendship between China and Cambodia dates back thousands of years ago. Amid the changing international landscape, China and Cambodia have honored commitments to each other, come to each other's aid in difficulties, firmly supported each other on issues bearing on our core interests and major concerns, and set a stellar example of big and small countries treating each other as equals and with sincerity and trust, and pursuing mutual benefit. China stands ready to work with Cambodia to deliver on the important common understandings between President Xi and Cambodian leaders, further deepen political trust at a higher level, expand high-quality mutually beneficial cooperation, consolidate security safeguards at a higher level, carry out more frequent cultural and people-to-people interactions, strengthen strategic coordination with a higher standard, advance the building of an all-weather China-Cambodia community with a shared future in the new era, and provide more stability and certainty to the world fraught with changes and instability. As Asia embarks on a new journey towards collective revitalization, China will continue to seek an amicable, secure, and prosperous neighborhood, follow the principles of amity, sincerity, mutual benefit, and inclusiveness, and share will and woe with our neighbors, deepen the friendship cooperation with Cambodia and other neighboring countries, bring more benefit of Chinese modernization to neighboring countries, jointly build a community with a shared future with our neighbors, and jointly advance the modernization of Asia. Next one, please.
I'll just use this. question from Reuters.
路透社。乌克兰总统泽连斯基表示，中国向俄罗斯提供了火药和弹药，并且乌政府有情报表明中国在俄罗斯境内参与武器生产，并且下周将会公布这一些详细的证据。中方对此有何评论？ China's position on the Ukraine issue remains consistent and clear. We have worked actively for ceasefire and to promote peace talks. We have never provided lethal weapons to any party to the conflict and strictly controlled the export of dual-use articles. Ukraine knows that clearly and has said publicly that most of Russia's imported military components came from the US and other Western countries. China firmly opposes groundless accusations and political manipulation. Next one, please.
您好，中国日报提问。中方发布了将在北京举行中印尼。
China Daily. To follow up on the first ministerial meeting of China-Indonesia Joint Foreign and Defense Ministerial Dialogue in Beijing, could you share with us more details, including its background? China and Indonesia are good neighbors, facing each other across the sea, and good partners with a shared future. This year marks the 75th anniversary of bilateral diplomatic ties. Under the personal guidance of the two leaders, China and Indonesia have set up and started the China-Indonesia Joint Foreign and Defense Ministerial Dialogue Mechanism. This is the first foreign and defense ministerial dialogue mechanism established by China, which demonstrates the strategic importance and high level of China-Indonesia cooperation. Last year, President Xi Jinping and President Prabowo Subianto met twice and agreed to hold the first ministerial meeting of China-Indonesia Joint Foreign and Defense Ministerial Dialogue as early as possible. At the meeting, Foreign Minister Wang Yi and Defense Minister Dong Jun and their Indonesian counterparts, Mr. Subianto and Safri, will exchange their views on bilateral relations, bilateral cooperation, political security and defense, international and regional cooperation. China stands ready to work with Indonesia to follow the strategic guidance of the two presidents, make full use of this mechanism, and elevate our friendship, mutual trust, and strategic coordination to a higher level. Next one, please.
A question from
法新社。美国国务院昨天谴责中国的卫星导航公司提供胡塞给予他们红海的卫星图像，中方对此有何评论？
I'm not familiar with the situation you mentioned. Since the escalations in the Red Sea situation, China has been playing a positive role in de-escalating the situation. Who is promoting talks for peace and de-escalating the tensions, and who is imposing sanctions and pressure? The international community sees that clearly. China urges relevant countries to make more efforts conducive to regional peace and stability rather than the opposite. Next one, please.
纸新闻，4月20号，也就是本周日。
Shenzhen TV. This Sunday, April 20th, marks the 16th UN Chinese Language Day. We noted that this year's theme is Poetic China, Rhymes and Romance. China's permanent mission to the UN, and other international organizations in Vienna, and permanent mission to the UN office at Geneva hosted a variety of activities and showcased Chinese traditional culture, which were quite well received. What's your comment? Congratulations on the 16th UN Chinese Language Day. As President Xi Jinping said, civilizations thrive through exchanges and mutual learning. From the poetry reading in New York and the Chinese language video festival in Geneva to the calligraphy and painting exhibitions featuring bamboo sleeves in Vienna. Those events celebrating the occasion presented not just the history and culture embodied by the Chinese language, but also the Chinese philosophy of advocating harmony without uniformity and helping others succeed while seeking one's own success. It's good to see more and more people learning the Chinese language and more foreign journalists raise questions in Chinese at our regular press conferences here. The extensive use of the Chinese language at multilateral fora, such as the UN, is an epitome of the deepening China-UN cooperation. 80 years ago, the Chinese delegates were the first to sign the UN Charter using a Chinese calligraphy brush. Since then, China has firmly defended the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, upheld the UN-centered international system, supported the important role of the UN in international affairs, and deepened the mutual learning among cultures, and promoted world peace and development. As an ancient Chinese saying goes, it's the combination of different ingredients that makes the soup delicious. A language is a vehicle of history and, more importantly, a bridge to the future. We hope that more people will be able to use Chinese as a bridge to read and understand China and the world. We're also ready to work with other countries around the world to bridge divisions through dialogue and approach differences with mutual accommodation, to form a community with a shared future and promote together the diversity and vibrancy of its civilizations. Next one, please.
Thank you, spokesperson.
路透社，美国新任驻日大使今天访日，并且表示美日需要共同努力来调整国防力量，以反击像中国这样的国家。外交部对于这一言论有何评论？
I haven't noted the information you mentioned, but I would like to say that the duty of a diplomat is to foster friendly ties between countries rather than vilify other countries, sow discord, and stoke confrontation. China has always been a peaceful force and a stable force and a progressive force in international community who is flexing their muscles and stoking rivalry and threatening peace. The international community sees that clearly. Next one, please.
The Trump administration.
特朗普政府表示，他们将会调整政策，来调整中国建造的船只港口费用。中方对此有何评论 ？Please repeat your question. 彭博社，特朗普政府昨晚表示，美方将采取措施，加征额外的费用，对象是涉中国建造船只在美国港口的费用。中方对此有何回应？
我们此前已经。
We've stated our position on relevant questions. I would like to say again that such measures as imposing port fees and levying tariffs on cargo handling facilities hurts the U.S. itself as well as others. The move not only hikes global maritime shipping costs and disrupts the stability of global industrial supply chains, but also increases inflationary pressures in the U.S. and hurts the interests of American consumers and businesses. The practice will ultimately fail to revitalize the U.S. shipbuilding industry. We urge the U.S. to respect facts and multilateral rules and immediately stop its wrongdoings. China will take necessary measures to defend its lawful rights and interests. Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any other questions? If not, that will conclude today's press conference. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.